Hello everyone. So this is the next passage and which we are going to discuss. Word count here is 412 words, and this passage is on the medium side. I won't say that it is the easy one, but it is on the medium side. So let's read the passage. Desertification, the creation of desert-like conditions where none had existed before, is the result of vagaries of most cases, in some a combination of both. So what does vagaries mean? So vagaries mean unexpected and something which we cannot explain. So that kind of change which is not expected or can be explained. So that can be said as vagaries. Such ecological deterioration in the Sahel has been likened in several ways to the increased size of livestock herds. So the increased size of livestock herds is the reason for ecological deterioration in the Sahel. During the 15 years preceding 1968, a period of extremely favorable rainfall, the pastoralists moved into the marginal regions in the north with relatively large herds. Marginal means small. So they came into these small regions where there was favorable rainfall with relatively large herds. However, with the onset of a series of dry years beginning at the end of the rainy season in 1967, the pastoral population found themselves overtaxing very marginal rangelands. Overtaxing means creating more burden on someone, trying to take out more from a person or an object than it is possible, with the result that the nomads viewed themselves as victims of a natural disaster. So because of that, because of the series of dry years and large herd population, so they started overtaxing marginal rangelands, and these nomads viewed themselves as victims of natural disaster. So they said that natural disaster is responsible for their problems and everything. The mistaken idea excuses the fact that long range planning has failed to take rainfall variability into account. So the author is saying that this mistaken idea that it is a natural disaster or they are victims of natural disaster, they failed to take this thing that there was no long range planning and they haven't taken rainfall variability into account. So this is something which they missed, and this is what author is saying. People blame the climate for agricultural failures in semi-arid regions and make it a scapegoat for faulty population and agricultural policies. So the author is saying that they do have faulty population and agricultural policies, but they try to blame climate for agricultural failures. Deterioration and ultimately desertification in the Sahel and in other ecosystems can be combated only if an ecologically realistic carrying capacity for the rangelands is determined. So this is the view of the author. So author is saying that realistic carrying capacity for the rangelands need to be determined. Although there appears to be widespread agreement that such a determination would be significant, there has been little agreement on how to make operational the concept of carrying capacity. So still people are not able to come to an agreement on how to make this carrying capacity operational. So everyone agrees that this is important, but they are not able to make it operational. So the concept of carrying capacity defined as the amount of grazing stock. So how is carrying capacity defined? It is defined as the amount of grazing stock, that is the number of livestock that you can graze on a region or a land. Should the carrying capacity be geared to the best, the average or the poorest years? So now there can be three kind of time frames. Best time frame when we have extremely favorable rainfall, average time frame when the rainfall is not best but it is still okayish, and the poorest years when there is zero rainfall. So which year should be benchmarked for defining this grazing stock or carrying capacity. Which combination of statistical measures would be most meaningful for the planning of long-term development of rangelands? So this is another question. So statistical measures and which time frame should be used. So these are the few questions. On which variables should such an assessment be based? So this is the third question, that which variables should be used, whether it is vegetation, rainfall, soil, ground and surface water, or managerial capabilities. Such inconclusiveness within the scientific community, while understandable, creates confusion for the land managers. So there is no conclusiveness within the scientific community, and this is resulting into confusion for land managers, who often decide to take no action, or who decide that all scientific suggestions are of equal weight and therefore indiscriminately choose any one of those suggested. So since there is no conclusiveness, there is no proper statement given to land managers, they either decide to take no action at all. So either they take no action, or they take or pick any one of the parameters suggested by these people, land manager, these scientists. Given the downward spiral of land deterioration, it becomes essential that an ecologically acceptable carrying capacity be established and enforced. Downward spiral of land deterioration means that there are more number of lands which are getting deteriorated day by day. It will also be crucial that land managers know what statistical and quasi-statistical measures actually mean. So that means that quasi means that this means seemingly. So there can be a statistical measure, and there can be measures which seem like a statistical but they are not actually statistical. So no single number can adequately describe the climate regime of an arid or a semi-arid region. So no single number can adequately, that means properly or correctly as needed. Land managers must supplement such terms as the mean with more informative statistical measures to characterize adequately the variability of the climate. So they should take mean, and they should use more statistical measures. The understanding of this high degree of variability will serve to remove one of the major obstacles to resolving the perennial problems of the Sahel and the other arid or semi-arid regions. So perennial means something which is everlasting or perpetual. So this problem is forever kind of problem. So if we understand this high degree of variability, we may be able to remove major obstacle to resolve this perennial problem. So more or less this passage was on the easy side, not very difficult. You can easily understand the language and what the author is trying to say and to discuss in this passage. Let's move to the questions. So the first question is, the author is primarily concerned with 1. Criticizing a social attitude, suggesting an approach to solving problems, explaining the mechanics of a process, defending the theories of ecological scientists. So 1, we can say that there was no defending of the theories of any ecological scientist. Author has clearly said that we need ecologically realistic carrying capacity, and there is widespread agreement, but there has been little agreement on how to make operational. So there is no theory by ecological scientists, so there is no need to even defend them. So option 4 is out of picture. Suggesting an approach to solving problems. So first thing, there was no approach to solving problems is discussed. When we say that approach to solving problems is discussed, that means that approach which can be generalized to different set of problems. Here we are not discussing any approach to problems, so this is also not correct. Criticizing a social attitude. So the author didn't criticize everywhere. So he criticized though at some points where he said that they mistaken idea excuse this thing, and they brought relatively large herds and all those things, but that was not the primarily thing that the author was concerned, so this is also out of picture. Now explaining the mechanics of a process, so you can see that the starting point is desertification, the creation of desert like conditions where none had existed before. So a process, or this desertification is the process about which author has discussed in the entire passage, how it happens, what can be done to improve that, how it can be eliminated, what are the reasons that the people should do, and what wrong they are doing and everything. So the author is actually explaining the mechanics of this process, which is called desertification. So the correct answer is option number C. Next one is, according to the passage, which of the following contributed to the desertification of the Sahel? The size of livestock herds grazing on the land. This definitely is there, because we can see here ecological deterioration in the Sahel has been likened in several ways to the increased size of livestock herds. So this has to be there. The quality of land in Sahel. So quality of land is something which is never discussed in the passage, that whether the land was arid or semi-arid or something like that. So quality of land was not responsible for the desertification. An arid region or semi-arid region can also remain like that and can stay like that without turning into a desert if proper agricultural policies and population or carrying capacity is maintained. So second is not the correct one. The amount of rainfall after 1967, this is also not the reason, because if we have extremely favorable rainfall, then there are series of dry season after series of dry years. So this was normal characteristic of that region, so that didn't result into desertification. So the reason for desertification was increased size of livestock herds. So we'll go with only option 1, that is A, 1 only. Third, with which of the following statements concerning desertification would the author be most likely to agree? It is the result of factors beyond the control of science. So this is something which author didn't agree, because author is saying that if we the understanding of the high degree of variability, and that's the reason he is pushing everyone to come up with carrying capacity and the measures and the reasons for that. So it is the result of factors beyond the control of science is not correct. It is a problem largely affecting arid regions. This is also author won't be agreeing to, because desertification can happen anywhere. If you increase the population or you resort to faulty agricultural practices or policies, you can turn any region into a desert. So this is also not correct because of largely affecting. It's at least it is affecting semi-arid regions as well. So we cannot say that this is the correct one. It is not attributable to faulty agricultural policies. It is attributable to faulty agricultural policies. So we can say that this is also not correct. It is not always the result of drastic climate changes alone. So this we can say, because here also in the first paragraph author says that the mistaken idea has failed to take rainfall variability into account, and that means that rainfall variability is normal in different places, and people blame climate for agricultural failures and make it a scapegoat. So we can say that author must be agreeing to point number 4, that it is not always the result of drastic climate changes alone that results into desertification. So option number D. Fourth, According to the passage, a statistical description of climate regime of an arid or semi-arid ecosystem would probably be. So we can see here in the last passage, no single number can adequately describe the climate regime of an arid or semi-arid region. So if we have a statistical description of climate regime of an arid or semi-arid ecosystem, it's not adequate. So we can say that it is let's check each of these portions. So impossible, this is something which we cannot say, because they are saying that no single number can adequately describe, but it's possible that that people can come up with different statistic feature or something. So impossible is a very strong word and we cannot use that. Is complex is something, again, we do not know whether it is complex or not. We just know that it can no single number can adequately describe the climate region of an arid or semi-arid region. So if it cannot adequately describe, it is actually meaningless, isn't it? So something which, if I say that describe a person, and if you give something or that is adding no meaning to the description, so we can say that it is meaningless. It's misleading, it's probably true, it's more plausible answer, and we can like many of you might get confused between A and D, but I feel that D is the correct version rather than going for misleading, because here it says that it cannot, no single number can adequately describe. So nowhere they have mentioned that it can mislead people or something like that. Since it is not adequately describing, so it is meaningless. So that information holds no value. That is something which I can infer, and we can see from the last paragraph, last portion of the second paragraph as well, that when people take indiscriminately choose any of these numbers, they actually fail to do anything. So such inconclusiveness with the scientific community and everything. So option D is the correct one for this particular question. Option 5, the tone of the passage can best be described as flippant, objective, aggressive and apologetic. So no apologetic, no flippant. Objective means that he should be using only facts, not giving any opinions, not giving any suggestions or like that. So it is not only objective, so he is taking lot of factors and variability. It can be said aggressive because since beginning author is very aggressive about what he wants to say, and he is using he hasn't used any soft sentences or anything like that. He is aggressive since beginning when he talks about this thing, or people blame the climate for agricultural failure, or when he says this. So he is asking questions and he is very aggressive. It becomes essential that ecologically acceptable carrying capacity be established. So aggressive is the right tone for this passage. Last one, it can be inferred from the passage that the concept of the carrying capacity of land is theoretical rather than practical. So they, in the passage in the second paragraph, you can see that they still were not able to define it properly, or how to make it operational. They were not able to do that. So it's not even theoretical rather than practical is wrong, and it can be converted into practicality by understanding the features and understanding and properly defining carrying capacity and the parameters which can help us measure it. So it can be a practical concept as well. So we cannot say surely that it is not a practical concept. Basically, political rather than ecological is totally wrong. There is no politics involved here. Independent of climatic conditions, since we can see that here they have mentioned rainfall as well, so we cannot say that climatic conditions are not important. Last one, generally misrepresented by ecologists. So this is something which we can say because they do not have come to any conclusiveness, and everyone is using different parameters and all those things. Such inconclusiveness for the scientific community creates confusion for land managers. So since everyone is saying their own definition and all, so it is actually misrepresented by ecologists. So that completes this passage. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. Please like, share and subscribe. This is something which is very important for us, and we are aiming that by the end of this week you all will help us raise our subscriber base, and that only will motivate us to create more videos and present all these things to you guys in future. That's it guys. Happy learning. Enjoy your day.